Okay, my clock just ticked to 7 o'clock. Would you all please stand for Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a short invocation? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for the opportunity to convene tonight on behalf of the residents of Symmes Township and give us an opportunity to transact business on their behalf. We ask that you lead us and guide us to make the right and appropriate decisions for all of our residents. And we ask that God bless America. Amen.
Amen.
Roll call, please.
Can we mute everyone that's not a board member or a guest? Thank you.
Mr. Beck,
Here.
Ms. Lease,
Here.
Mr. Bryant.
Here. I move approval of the agenda. And before we do that, I'd like to make one correction. Under presentations tonight, the fire department, we are postponing that until we can do it in person, hopefully next month. Okay, so with that modification, I move approval of the agenda.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Ms. Lease,
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
I move approval of the minutes for the regular meeting minutes for March 2nd, 2021.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Lease,
Aye.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye. I failed to mention, is there any comments or anything anyone would like to modify at this time? So we've already passed it. So if we need to make any modifications, get with Kim and make them. All right. We'll now hear the fiscal officer's report for March. Joe?
In our PNC account, which will be closed totally as of Thursday, we have only one remaining account there, and it had as of the end of the month, it had $1,490,448.47. The major account at Fifth Third is down to $322,254.83. That 1.49 million will be moved into that account as of Thursday. The HRA account at Fifth Third is at $13,275.40. We didn't get the meter report for this month or the past month yet, but the report for end of February, the meter account contained $8,224,852.80. I had a fund status report in each of your mailboxes. I assume you got those with all the fund balances. We had, we're still working with the accountant on balancing out 19 and 20. We corrected the funds for the beginning of 2021, and we started on the reconciliation process. For January. This morning, actually, he was there. It's pretty complex and different than what's been done in the past. Anyhow, that was it.
I was under the impression that special auditor was finished when we filed the report at the end of 2020, which was like the end of March. Is he still working?
Yes.
He finished the work that would allow us to file the Hinkle report, which we did, but he was not finished as far as instructing us on the proper reconciliation process.
Okay, that's going forward though, right?
Yeah, that's going forward, yeah.
All right, okay. Okay, anything else?
Nope.
Okay. We said we're tabling the fire department presentation till next month. Hopefully we'll be in public in the Safety Service Center. I see no public hearings, and I move approval of disbursements, warrants number 79,158 through 79,295, and vouchers 46 through 79 in the amount of $1,180,812.18.
Second,
Roll call.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Ms. Lees.
Okay. I think they get truncated, but I think that was an aye. Under reports, Law Director.
Thank you. Nothing to report tonight.
Okay. Police Department. Sergeant.
Good evening, all. Once again, I'm Sergeant May. I'm filling in for Lieutenant Tarr. I just have a few small things, if I may. Now that we're finally breaking out of some of the COVID restrictions and people obviously have cabin fever, we believe that vacations are once again going to ramp up this year as opposed to last year. So just a reminder that if people go away, if the township residents go away, there are two avenues by which to be put under vacation watch. That way we can check their house in their absence. The first one would be to call the District 3 here at 683-3444. That's Monday through Friday. Or they could call our headquarters out on Hamilton Avenue at 825-1500, and that is a 24/7 operation, so they could do it any time of day or night. The only other thing that I had to address, I don't think it's so much an issue here of late, but with spring upon us, people's windows open, it may become an issue, and that's the commercial trash collection that is causing a noise violation and obviously bothering some of the neighboring residential areas. So if people have concerns in this regards, please call us when this is actively going on. We have a better chance of addressing it, getting resolved if we can make contact with the trash collectors at that time. So that, like anything else, if you see something going on, and you have the ability, please call us. Please call us when it's going on. You can notify us afterwards, but the effects would probably be diminished. So just call us if you see something occurring in that regards or in any other fashion so far as a crime or suspicious activity.
Do you have any particular zone in which that you're responding right now?
No, I haven't heard any calls of late, so that's a good thing. But I think a lot of it is that people were closed up over the winter, things were quiet, and maybe our previous contacts have had an effect so far as that's concerned. But we haven't got any recent calls. We're just kind of preemptively putting it out there.
Okay, well, I can tell you that at 4:30 last Wednesday morning, they were coming through Calumet.
Okay. All right. Well, then give us a call at 4:30, God forbid, if that happens again, and let us know, and we will deal with it.
and one thing.
Go ahead, Jody. Sorry.
Since it is spring and everybody's out because they have cabin fever, I just want to remind everybody to slow down in the neighborhoods because there are kids out on the street playing and we wouldn't want to have an unfortunate accident. So just be mindful when you're driving through neighborhoods.
Absolutely.
Okay. Anything else, Sergeant?
No, sir. That should about summarize what I have to say.
Okay. Chief Huber? You're muted. Still muted.
How about now? Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Good evening. You have my written report. I have two items to add of interest. One being we were asked to look at a building at 9703 Love Madeira Road that was unsightly and had some questions about the stability of the building. Some folks up on the Misty Morn area were able to see this building from their backyards. So we met with the building department and met with the owner and have orders written through the building department to repair the building. And so we'll follow back up with the owner there to ensure that that happens and the structure gets brought up to code.
Okay.
And what it was basically it was an old stable, a horse stable that was back in the woods that you really couldn't see. It was part of a building that was there years ago. The house had torn down. The neighbor bought the land. The horse barn came with the land. He didn't have horses anymore, so it fell into disrepair. The gentleman was quite nice. He realized what he had there and was more than willing to repair it.
Oh, he is going to repair it.
Yes, he's going to repair the building and fix the hole that's in the roof.
Okay.
So, and then the second item is that we just like to remind the township residents that it is tornado season. April 9th coming up was the tornado that devastated portions of Symmes Township, Blue Ash and Montgomery and Loveland back in '99. And again, we ask our residents to make sure that you have either that app on your telephone for severe weather, or you have a severe weather radio, that you pay attention to when the sirens are sounding and that you take cover appropriately. We certainly want our residents to be safe and to have a plan with their family should an event like that occur in the future. But we have seen some drastic storms all over the country, even in the winter when we don't normally see those. So hopefully we'll have a event-free tornado season, but we want our residents to be aware and be safe.
Thank you. Anything else on it?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't see the Director of Public Works here tonight. Anything you want to bring up, Kim, from him?
No, the only thing I would want to let everybody know is our contractor's kind of probably going to be starting on April 26th for the Union Center sidewalks. We got a couple more temporary easements that we were able to get, and we just have a few more to go. But we've been able to work with people or around people depending.
Okay, this is sidewalks on Union Cemetery?
Yep.
Okay, you were a little muffled there is why I questioned. I didn't hear it clearly. That could
It's
be
going
me.
to start April 26th.
I got that part.
Okay.
We know it's going to be on the Symmes Township side of the street all the way?
Yes, on the north side from Antietam all the way to the park.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Any committee reports? Any other? Wow, moving right on. Okay, any hearing from residents tonight?
I think this is the opportunity that anybody from the audience, I know Representative of the Castle, I see you, so I don't know if you want to talk or not. This is your opportunity.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. I see CJ Carr is also on, although I don't see video, but I see he's out logged in. Anything, CJ? He's not muted, so I just don't hear him. All right, proceeding. Any correspondence for discussion?
Castle wanted to talk.
Yeah.
Did you talk? They took themselves off
Oh,
mute.
I didn't hear him respond.
No,
Okay, go ahead.
sorry about that. Have you heard anything more about that paper road up there?
Kim, we have an item on the agenda about surveying tonight.
Yes.
Kim?
What was the question?
I said we have something coming up talking about surveying tonight.
Right. Yeah. We
Okay,
want to
that's the only thing I'm aware of pertinent to the Willow Road question.
Right.
Okay.
Do you understand what we're doing? Kim, you want to explain it real fast before, so they don't have to sit here through the whole thing?
Are you talking about the survey?
Yes.
Yeah, we got your request and we're trying to locate the road. So when I called you guys earlier this week, you told me that you did a survey, but you didn't stake the survey. So what we're trying to do is do a survey and stake the actual right of way so that we can see for ourselves what it actually looks like, how it goes down the hillside, so that we can help our board make a good decision if and when it comes to them making a decision once we hear from the county.
The township the surveyor did put a marker up there. There is a marker on it. If you need the confirmance of the people that we had surveyed, we can get that for you.
Yeah, because I was told this week that you guys didn't stake it at all, that you didn't put little
We
rebar.
didn't. They put a marker on it, one side of the road.
Well, that's
On one
just,
side of the road, they put one marker up there.
but that's everything, every distance will be shot from one particular marker. That doesn't help identify where the road is.
Okay.
Okay. All right, just letting you know.
And I want to comment because I know that we received an email asking why we were doing it. Well, for me, the reason why we were going to do it is because we're trying to make the most informed decision we can. And no matter if it's a castle or if it's an individual owner, as trustees, we want to make the best decision. And that's why we're doing it. So I know we had some residents ask us and kind of complain that why we're doing it. So we're just telling you, we're treating the castle like we would treat any resident in Symmes Township. And we're trying to be as fair and as thorough as we can.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Any other hearing from residents? Okay, going on. Any correspondence? Okay, I'm going to try and read these events and meeting notices. The zoning commission meeting will be Wednesday, April 21st, 2021 at 7 o'clock, again via Zoom. We're having the storybook time, walk with the library at the Mead Historic Preserve on Thursday, April 22nd from 10 a.m. till 12. Board of Zoning Appeals meeting will be Monday, May 3rd, 2021 at 7 p.m. They're also via Zoom. Regular trustees meeting Tuesday, May 4th at 7 o'clock in the Safety Service Center. Is everybody comfortable with meeting in person in the Safety Service Center so that we have room to socially distance?
Great with me.
Yes.
About time.
All right.
I'm fine.
Okay. Then we will meet.
One related question to that. We've had requests to use our building again for meetings, and I didn't know how you guys felt about that.
Do we have a list of regulations one would have to follow in order to use it?
Yeah.
The only regulation we have is that you have to wear a mask.
Okay, and socially distance? Okay.
Well, we have a policy on using township assets for meetings.
Okay. And the only additions would be masked and socially distanced.
Right.
Okay, as long as we have that in place, I'd see no reason why we couldn't do it.
Okay.
Anyone else survey the trustees while we're here? Jody, okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. When we get to the end, I just want to comment about story time.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Phil, anything else on the meeting?
No.
Okay.
I'm good with it.
We will definitely meet in the Safety Service Center on May 4th at 7 p.m. Finance Committee next meeting is Wednesday, May 12th at 6 o'clock, again via Zoom. And we have an upcoming cleanup day, May 15th on Saturday from 9 until 3 at Home of the Brave Park. That's a different location this year, right? We've been doing Hopewell.
Yes, it allows us to spread out more using Home of the Brave.
All right, I think it's good to move it around if we can.
Yep. And then I forgot, I have one more thing to add to meetings and events. We had a staff meeting submittal for the McCluskey property. Actually, it's the Casto property where the old JCPenney's is. So that we scheduled that meeting for Monday, April 19th. It's going to be a staff review. So what that is we give the applicant an opportunity to pitch their project, and then we notify all the people within 200 feet. And if anybody has any comments, objections, whatever they want to say or do, they come to the meeting, and then they voice that to the applicant, who has a chance to take their application before they submit.
Okay, the trustees are not required or actually invited, are they?
No.
Okay. That's the way I interpreted it anyway.
What was the date again for that, Ken?
Monday, April 19th at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
and they do it via Zoom.
Okay. So I just want to comment on storybook time. We're excited that we're back with the library, and we chose Mother Bruce because it's the book series that we're doing, and it's currently, we put it in Me Today. So it's a whole series about a grumpy bear. It's super cute. So I hope everybody comes out and enjoys it. And I just also wanted to comment, because I was talking with Luann today, we do a photo contest in the fall, but we take pictures. I mean, you can send us a picture tomorrow. So I know spring's a beautiful time. And when we were out putting the story in at Mead, we were noticing how pretty everything was. So if you want to take pictures now, you're always welcome to send them into the township for the photo contest in the fall. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jody. Moving on, if no objection, to old business. I move approval of resolution G 2021-12, resolution approving an employment agreement with Kimberly A. Lipinski as township administrator pursuant to Ohio Revised Code section 505.031 and dispensing with the second reading. I would like to table that until after our executive session this evening.
Okay.
So can we move on tabling it?
Second.
Okay. Roll call.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
Okay. Moving on to new business. I move to set a work session date to discuss the landscaping plans for Belong Park. Need a second.
Do it in
I got
April. Second.
Who's speaking? Was that Kim?
That was me. Are we gonna do it in April?
Yeah, I personally would like to discuss more than just that. If we have anything else on an agenda, I don't want to have a work session for one at a time items. We'd have 15 of them a year. So if we have any other items that come up, I think we ought to put them on the agenda for that evening, whenever that is.
Well,
That's the only caveat I have.
yeah, we always can talk about landscaping down Montgomery Road while we're at it, because I've been after that for a long time.
Maybe we can talk about what's going on at Seven Gables Park, or not going on, shall I say, until we get a grant and other things. So Kim, if you can, let's pick a date and then see what we can add to the agenda for that evening.
Okay.
Any suggestions? Said you wanted to do it in April.
Well, I don't think we should do it in April if you're going to want to add on to it, because we're not going to know enough about Seven Gables.
Well, I don't know anything about Seven Gables right now, other than what's on the agenda tonight,
Well,
which is all kind of depending on what kind of grant we go after and what we get.
that's right, because we're waiting to see what we get. So we put it on the agenda just to make you guys aware of what we've been working on. And so it all depends on what we get.
Well, where are we in the application process?
We can't put it in till beginning of May.
Okay. And we have somebody writing that?
Yes, Bill.
All right. So that's new input.
Wait, did you say Bill or Phil?
Bill.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah. But it's going to be a really cool play set, hopefully.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
What is the appropriate timing to have a work session strictly for Belong Memorial Park?
Talking to us, you're talking to Kim.
I'm talking to whoever wants to answer.
Well, if you don't want to just talk about Belong Park, you're going to have to wait until May.
Well, if that's all we've got to talk about, I don't mind going ahead and doing it. But if we have an opportunity set up for a work session, I'd like to fill it up. And if we can't fill it up beyond Belong Memorial Park, then that's all we deal with.
I would
Okay.
like to talk about it sooner than later, just because I would like to get something as far as a cost estimate is concerned, so that we can budget for it for next year's budget.
I know you've thrown out a couple plans from Choice One, but we don't. Yeah, there's a lot we don't know about it. Like what is the involvement of Union Savings Bank, things like that. So those would come up.
First, we have to get a cost estimate. So first,
Okay.
I need you to pick a plan, and then I'll get a cost estimate, and then we can go down that road.
All right.
Right.
And,
When we contact the bank, he said he's more than willing to help us.
okay.
He says, get a plan and get back with me. So
Okay.
he did say he wasn't going to pay 100%, but I think we could have it match us 50-50 maybe.
All right. Let's talk about that in the work session and let's set up the meeting. What do you suggest? Kim, what's available?
Do you want to do it the week of the 19th?
How about Thursday that week, the 22nd?
That works.
Jody, it okay?
I think so right now.
All right. You want to do it like 6 o'clock instead of 7?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's an in-person meeting or Zoom?
It's probably easier to do it in person, but if you want to do it Zoom, we'll make it work.
Well, if we're looking at plans and so on, suggestions for landscaping, what have you, it'd probably be nice to have it all right in front of us. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
is that okay with everyone to do it in person?
Yes.
Okay with me.
Okay. All right. Why don't we set then Thursday, April 22nd, 6 o'clock in the Township Meeting Hall.
Okay. Second, do we need to do a second?
Yeah, why don't we do that? That way everybody can say whether they can be there. Who seconded?
Jody did.
Okay. All right. We can all make it, right? Let's call a
Yes.
vote.
Yes.
All right. Roll call, Joe.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye. All right. Moving on. I move to set a special meeting date to interview health brokers. That's got to be before August 1st, right? And isn't that what our annual renewal is?
Right. I was hoping to do it like the last week in April. So that way I can make contact with health people this week, and then we can give them, 3 weeks to put something together. I don't know, maybe meet the last week of April.
Well,
And
is
then-
this? Go ahead.
What I was thinking is we contact 4 people and then our health broker, and then give our health broker the opportunity to say like 15 minutes and give a spiel. Like, here's what service I provided the township over the years. Here's where we are with rates, blah, blah, blah. And then ask the 3 or 4 more other providers to do the same thing. And then you guys can pick which provider you want to do. You can either stay with what we have, or you can pick a new one and move on. And then that person will be in charge of getting us going through the system and getting us new health insurance. We can always
Okay.
extend what we have in August to out. It's not gonna, I don't think Medical Mutual is gonna make a big deal about it. We can extend it out and then, renew from another date if it has to be.
Okay, I guess one of the questions I'm going to ask is if we were to go with someone else, and I don't know that we know the answer, but one of the questions I'd like to ask is that going to affect our grandfathering of anything that we now are grandfathered for?
Yes, it would. It would affect
Okay.
that.
then I would like for each of the brokers who come in and talk to us to tell us how it impacts us in that regard.
Okay.
All right. Okay, and here again, is that something we could combine at the back end of a work session? Like if we started at 7 o'clock on the same night and have the brokers come in?
I guess
It
we
would be
could.
way too long. I mean, if
Okay,
you can each broker 15 minutes, that's an hour. And then you're giving our current one 15 minutes. So that's an hour and 15 minutes. And you know they're going to run over. I think we should limit them to 10 minutes because I don't think they need 15 minutes. But that's, you know, we can talk about that another date. But on top of discussing other stuff, boy, I think that would be like a 4-hour, 5-hour meeting.
okay. I hear you. Is there any chance that we can get advanced material from the brokers if we're going to limit them to 10 minutes? I think we
They
ought to
wouldn't-
familiarize
I don't
ourselves
know.
with it.
Well, I can ask. I mean, it's not going to be any numbers. It's going to just be about their company is what they're going to give us.
Okay,
Obviously, they're not going to give us any numbers until they actually get picked. And their percentage gets added into the insurance premium that we pay monthly. That's how brokers get paid. So you don't really see their fees. It's included in our premium.
all right. When do you want to set it up? You want to set it up for like the 29th?
That's fine with me.
Anyone else?
That works for me.
I think so.
Okay, again, 6 or 7.
6.
6.
6, that works.
Okay. Okay, then I move that we set a special meeting date to interview healthcare brokers on Thursday, April 29th at 6 p.m. in the Township Meeting Hall.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Ms. Lees.
Aye.
Okay, I move to authorize the administrator to advertise the RFQ for the Mead House project.
Second.
Any discussion?
Does anybody have any comments or changes or anything they want to add to it?
Phil, if we secured any interest on people in the Historical Society to sit on the committee to review the RFQs?
Dave Ziverink.
Dave Zevering?
Yep.
Okay. All right, I thought you were going to try and get 2. I guess Nick wasn't available.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, Dave actually reviewed the RFQ.
Okay.
And
He's perfect.
was
He's a great
really
representative.
pleased with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, he had some ownership in that property before too, so he ought to know a lot about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I have a motion. We have a second? Yes, we did. Phil, you seconded, I believe. All right. Roll call.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
I move to authorize the administrator to advertise for the park custodian position. I believe that this is something that we talked about. If we didn't get anybody to sign up for it, that we were going to post it and see if there's any interest in being the interim or otherwise park custodian. So we have a job description and everything else. Oh no, actually we have a
Legal
Public-
ad that I put together.
public notice, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Ask a
All right,
question.
so we're all set to go, and Kim's just asking us, can we pull the trigger on it? So,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Thank you. Do we gate any of our other parks?
We have
have
the gates, but we
gates.
don't open and close them.
Right. They
Right.
just stay open all the time.
Right.
Okay. So here's my question to the sheriff's department. Do we have trouble with people going into the other parks at night?
None that I'm aware of.
Okay. So, okay. And if it makes Camp Dennison feel safe about it, that's fine, but maybe we should try and not gate it and see what happens. If people start coming, then we should do a park custodian. But if no one is even going down there and the gates remain open, then why are we doing it?
Okay.
Does that make sense what I'm saying?
I'm going to speak only from here.
To do it for sure, because I want everyone down there to feel safe and all that. But if we've never tried it, not closing the gates, why don't we try not closing the gates and see what happens? And if we have problems, then close the gates and hire somebody.
I'm going to speak to that. And it's only from hearsay. All right. The people I've talked with, including the person who's currently opening and closing a gate, has talked to me and maybe some of the others about certain nefarious activities that have gone on there in the past. And that's why we started opening and closing the gate.
Okay. How long
okay.
ago was it?
All right. That's, I think, why we were doing it. Now, your question is it still, if we leave the gate open, is it going to happen again? I don't think we know unless we do it. But all I can speak to is what people have said in the past has happened.
Yeah. I want everyone down there to feel safe. So if we need to close it, we need to close it. I was just asking the question. If we've never tried not closing it, maybe we should try it. But if that's what you're saying, that we've tried it in the past and it didn't work, that's fine.
Okay. Let's deal with what's on this issue right now. The motion to post it, advertise the position, and see what kind of response we get. And I'm going to suggest that maybe we put that on as a second item on our work session and maybe talk about it for 10 minutes the next time we get together in a work session. Okay, we can talk about what our experiences have been and what our options are. Maybe some of that discussion will come up tonight later and we won't have to do it, but at least hold the spot for it, please.
Okay.
All right. So we have a motion and a second and a roll call.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck, Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye. Tim, I'm not sure how to handle an acknowledgement of a stormwater fees for 2021 other than state that annually we get a notice from the county, the stormwater district, saying that it costs so much for each parcel or each parcel in Symmes Township that they want to tax us. And in the past, we've always passed that on to our residents rather than the township paying it and then try to get reimbursed. So we are continuing with that process. And if anyone feels that the fee is unjustified, then they can complain to the county.
Yeah, and it's about the same as it was last year. I think it was 15 something last year. So they did not raise the rates like we thought they were going to.
I know, but they've added other things into those fees that they charge without us knowing about it in the past. Like public service, public works fees and so on end up on your tax bill that I don't know that we've ever really did what we've done with the stormwater fees and pass them on to the residents.
Well, that's just it. The $15.14, $8.13 of that goes to stormwater phase 2 permit services, and $7.01 goes to Hamilton County Planning and Development Services, which is.
And what are we getting for that? See, that's why it's not. The
Township doesn't get anything. It just funds the stormwater district is what it does.
Okay. All right, so we acknowledge that we're passing on stormwater fees for 2021 from the Hamilton County Stormwater District to each and every individual resident in the township.
Yep.
All right. I'd like to open a discussion concerning a self-closing park gate and camera at Camp Dennison Nature Trail. Okay, we've talked about this in the past. I volunteered at the Safety Service Center. The call center can monitor cameras and so on if they're installed, and they can open and close the gate if it's installed. And we talked about this in the past. However, we never had any numbers, and now I think we have numbers as to what it's going to cost for us to do this. Kim, you going to take it from there?
Sure. We had, Ott was nice enough to have his staff work with our staff to develop some costs. And we were able to get a cost estimate from PCS for the camera, which it's $5,771.77. That is just the camera. Obviously, we would first need to run electric to it, which we estimate is going to cost about $2,500. It would need internet to be able to view the camera. So that's $85 a month plus $100 for installation. And then we would need firewall software, which is $1,500 or $250 annually. So that's just for the camera. So then we also have a quote for the gate. So the first quote we got was $17,730.55. And then if you want the barrier arms, it's another $313.75. So there would be additional electric for the gate itself because and I don't know why. I don't know if they run off two separate circuits or what it is, but Bill said that there would be additional electric cost for the gate as well. Not only for that, for the camera. So we can add that to the agenda that we talk about in the special meeting on the 29th or the 22nd.
Right now, I personally, if that's the only gate we open and close, it's cost prohibitive for us to even consider it.
Right.
I don't know why we wouldn't pay the person that's opening and closing the gate now, take them up another $80 a month or something like that and let them pay their insurance or whatever they have to do and continue with what we've had as a contractor. I mean, it'd take a lot of years to pay for those kinds of numbers of installing the gate and then the internet service and the cameras and all that kind of stuff. Just open and close a gate.
Mr. Bryant, may I?
Yes.
I would not recommend that the board invest that. I don't think the return on that investment is worth it. I think there are other options that you may look at down the road. For that kind of money, you could reconfigure the parking lot to have a less expensive gate for less money. So I think there's other options that the Public Works could look at along with other options for the electric and what have you. I just think it has to be researched more. But currently it's cost prohibitive for what that investment would be. Again, you might be able to reconfigure the parking lot and cut that in half by not having such a wide entrance to that. So there's other options to look at, but that option I think is extraordinary.
Okay. Then I'm going to suggest that we do indeed talk about this at our next work session because I'm not ready to spend that kind of money for that.
Okay.
Agreed.
Okay, Jody?
Yeah, totally agree.
Okay. I think as Ott said, there's maybe mechanical means, but we also, I mean, we're paying like $90 a month for somebody to open and close that gate. And they were griping about, if they went to a contractor, it might cost them another $100 a month or something for insurance, liability insurance. Hell, we could pay that for a lot of years and not come up to what it would cost to put the mechanical devices in. So why don't we discuss it at our work session on this as a second item, if we have time? You agree?
Yes.
Jody?
Yep.
Okay. All right, then I'm going to move on. I move approval of resolution G 2021-30, resolution authorizing the purchase of preemption devices and various other equipment from Capital Electric in the amount not to exceed $19,936.
Second.
Discussion. These are the two lights that we lack on Montgomery Road within the boundaries of Symmes Township, correct? And that would finish up Montgomery Road. And then we can look at putting something in the budget to go forward with a few more lights next year. Okay.
These would be the two lights, one at Christ Hospital and the other light at Harper's.
Okay.
Can I just, is there any way we get all the preemptive devices in? See how much time we're saving because of them? Is there a way to do that? Can we compare like last year's numbers to how your response thing? Do you know what I'm saying?
The only problem with that, Mrs. Lees, is the fact that every call is different to a different address each time. So you're not able to do that. You know, we can clearly see the difference from the fact that when we pull out of the Symmes Safety Center, the fact that we don't have to stop.
Okay.
You know,
okay. I was
so
wondering if
that in itself, and then you know you have the variance of how much traffic was there. So it's really not something that you can quantify in data like that, other than the fact that you know we're not increasing response times. So we could take as an example, a simulated run, if you will, from the Symmes Safety Center, say to the old Sam store on Montgomery and Fields Erdel, and you know how much would the stopping and starting of that engine cost by the time you get there. And you're probably talking from a safety center to there, stopping the engine at a red light and then going and getting up to speed again, and then stopping and getting up to speed again. You're probably talking at least three to 3.5 minutes additional time from the Symmes Safety Center just to the furthest part of the township at Fields Erdel and Montgomery.
okay, that's cool. I just wanted to see if we could make sure when we do down, we could justify it, saying that we're saving this much time, but that's fine.
We had a move and second. Any other discussion? Roll call.
No.
Joe?
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Ms. Lees.
Aye.
Could I make a comment on preemption devices? I know
Go
you,
ahead.
that it was enlightening to me when I had a meeting with Ott. I was under the impression that preemption devices change that one light and that's it. But he explained that it moves down the road so you're clearing traffic at the same time as that individual light. So it's much more efficient as far as moving a vehicle. Could you comment on that, Ott? Because I found that really helpful information.
Yes, the type of system that the township chose to go with was a GPS system. So it's giving that information throughout the system ahead of time, as well as the GPS system that the township purchased versus systems that are run by a siren. They're all hooked into the traffic or the turn signals on the fire apparatus. So it knows when the driver turns his turn signal on that we're going to turn left at that next intersection. So it lets that traffic light know that we need not only to go straight, but we're going to turn left. And, you know, all the lights on Montgomery Road are obviously very complicated lights because of how large those intersections are. So it's very helpful that we not only this, you know, we're just not stopping the traffic and allowing us to go through. So it's efficient and safe for us because the system talks through the entire entity. So it knows as we're going forward. So it's hitting light after light. So a very good point. Thank you for bringing that up, Joe.
Thank you.
Okay. Did we do roll call yet?
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Joe
Yeah.
that afterwards. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Is that it on that subject? Okay, I move approval of resolution G 2021-31, a resolution authorizing acceptance of street paving bids and awarding the contract to J.K. Muir in the amount of X. Because I think we were given a couple options here. Okay,
Second, you want us to second that so you can talk about it?
Yeah, please, thank you.
Okay.
We'll go back and fill the number in the right resolution. But you saw Kim's note out today about the questions I asked yesterday. We had on the regular schedule, we had certain streets, Calumet Farm being one of them. And then we were going to work with the county on paving part of Kemper Road. And that would total such and such an amount of money. And then there was additional options quoted also by J.K. Muir, and those were in a totally different subdivision. And when we looked, had Kim look up when those were due because they didn't seem to be in the original plan. There's some question of when they were when they were accepted and dedicated, and how long they'd been in use, and so on. And if we were to spend the $985,678 that was in the original resolution, we would be very low in money for next year. And Kim has said that the costs on asphalt and other things are going up this year a lot. I don't know what they're going to do next year. I'm hoping that there aren't as many people working from home, doing house remodels and so on from home. So hopefully get some sense in the industries, and the prices may be alleviated. But we'd be down to $200,000 to $300,000 only, with no money in sidewalk fund or anything, if we spent $985 this year when we're only taking in like $550, I think, Kim's the number I kind of remember. And this is the first year of a 7-year levy renewal. So I think we get behind the 8 ball, so we start spending all this money all at once. So I'd like to defer some of the streets. And Kim, can you speak to how much it would cost us to do what I just spoke about, those that were planned for 2021 plus the county, which is going to pay us back?
Right, so it'll cost for the base bid, which is Calumet Way, Stable Watch Court, Iron Leach Lane, Preakness Lane, Spiral Pass, Twilight Tier Lane, Kemper Woods, and Meadow Bluff. It's $472,128. So if we do all the other alternates that we had bid out were Kemper, Jerome's Way, Shallow Creek Drive, River's Edge Court, Plantation Point, and Elmfield, which cost an additional $513,550.
And you said Kemper's included in that? Okay.
So the total combination would be $985,678. Now, if we did just Kemper Road along with the base bid, Kemper Road itself is $384,050. So that would take us to the $856,178. That's what I would prefer that we do, just because our balance will drop below 500,000 for what we have going into next year. And it would make me feel more comfortable if we just had a higher balance. The higher balance that we could have is 577,834. Otherwise, it would be 448,334 if we did all of it. So, but next year, and the reason I asked to defer it to next year is because next year we're doing Harbor Town, and we've estimated that that's going to cost about $371,000. So if we add the $129,500 to the $371,000, we're right about $500,000, which is where we typically.
So we would be back kind of on schedule next year, even picking up these streets that we've never done before.
Well, we're not off schedule because we always pave ahead. I mean, even last year we paved streets that were on this year's schedule. So we are ahead of schedule.
And the county is reimbursing for Kemper, is that correct?
Yes, they told us as long as we kept it under $400,000 that they would go ahead and have us do it, which we did. It's $384. So we'll get them, they'll reimburse us. We'll do an agreement with them.
So they'll reimburse for half? What do they reimburse?
No, they reimburse us for the whole thing for Kemper, the 384.
384. Okay.
So
we would on schedule right now, we do 472 plus 384. and get 384 back. So we're only spending 472.
Right, right.
Okay. And then
Yep.
the carryover, Kemper was in the 513, wasn't it?
Yes.
So that's really only like 100,000 to do those other streets.
Yeah, it's $129,500 additional.
Okay, so it's like 100 and some 100, a little over 100,000 for the extra this year, which we could put on what's planned for Harbortown and so on next year, and we'd still be at about the level that we got coming in.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense to me, really.
Yeah, because for 2021, we were supposed to do Blong Road this year, but we did it last year when we did the bridge project.
Right.
So we're ahead. Yeah, so we're one street ahead.
Okay. How do
And
the
then
others? How do
And
the
I'm
others
thinking,
feel about that?
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'd go for the 472 plus the 384.
Okay.
okay.
Kim,
so
can
the
we make that
856.78.
resolution come out to cover that then, and then we will approve it?
Yes, I did two versions. So there's two versions in the packet. So there's one for the 985 and then the other one for the 856.178.
Okay. All right, we'll take the second one then. What was that number?
$856,178.
Okay. So, I asked for approval. We had a second. We had discussion. I'm going to reread it again and then take a roll call. I want to read it as we approve resolution 2021-31, a resolution authorizing acceptance of street paving bids and awarding the contract to J.K. Muir in the amount of $856,178.
Second.
Correct.
Okay, roll call.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
Okay, I move approval of resolution G 2021-32. Resolution authorizing the township administrator to sign an agreement with Choice One Engineering for engineering services for Belong Park in the amount of $5,700.
Second.
Discussion?
This is to hire them to do a combination plat for Blong Park. So the park that we have at the corner of Montgomery and Kemper, there's like a long skinny piece where we got the right of way for old Montgomery Road, I guess. And that connects down to the piece that we were talking about at the corner of Belong and Montgomery Road. So remember how I had asked a couple of meetings ago about putting a trail through that piece of property so that we could classify it as a township park so that we would quit having to pay taxes on it.
Okay.
So it turns out that we have enough property to connect the two and that we can just do like a combination plat and resubmit it, and then it'll all be classified as park, and then we won't have to pay taxes on
Okay.
it.
It seems like a lot of money just to do a consolidation plat. Does that all have to be resurveyed and everything else?
Yep. Yeah, they're not cheap to do. That's why we never did it at the safety center.
Well, it's like 2 years of taxes, but once you get beyond that, if we can get it
Right,
all
then it pays for
contiguous
itself.
and combined into one plat, then do we have to refile? We call it all Belong Memorial Park then?
Yeah, we would just call it all Belong Memorial. Yep.
Okay.
But you will
Unless you
have
guys
to,
want to do something different, but
Okay.
once it's consolidated, you will have to resubmit the exemption application.
Is there any chance we lose our park designation? I don't see that happening. I mean, it's a possibility, but I don't see it
because
happening.
it's got is it because it has a new parcel number, Jeff? So you have to resubmit it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Once the county assigns a new parcel number, the exemption goes away on the old parcel number, and you'll just have to reapply under the new consolidated parcel.
All these parcels have already been surveyed. Can't we take those and do what's the term? A boundary plot, a boundary description and so on to make it one parcel?
That's what they're doing. They're doing a boundary.
But why does it have to be
Consolidation.
resurveyed? If you have a legal description of each of the parcels, why can't you just take that information and consolidate it?
I'm not a civil engineer. I'm sure it's more complicated than that.
I think it's a lot of money to do that, but I don't know. I have any choice.
Well, the taxes, you will pay for it in 2 years because you're going to owe $3,000 a year in taxes, which
Yeah,
would
but
be
if I could pay for it in 1 year, I'd be happier. Seriously, have we looked at anybody else that asked them?
we always use choice one. They're pretty
I
reasonable,
know,
reasonably
I
priced.
know, and I get tired of hearing that. I want to know we get some competitive bids somewhere along the line.
Okay.
Well, I hear the okay, but I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we're going to go ask somebody else.
You three tell me what you want.
I don't like the fact that it's $5,700 either, but if we pay for it in 2 years and then we don't have to worry about it again and there's nothing we can do about it, we just gotta do it.
Okay, here's where I'm coming from, Jody. We got this one on the agenda for over $5,000. We got another one we're talking about in a few minutes here about another $5,000 or $6,000 for doing surveying. I'd like to see us get some competitive bids. I don't know that everybody's going to charge us $5,700 to do this one and the other one too.
All right, then bid it out. I don't care. It's up to you guys. I mean, I'm fine with it, bidding
Is
it
it
out.
holding up anything, Kim, if we were to go get a competitive bid?
I don't think we have to bid it. We just have to get, you could get 3 prices.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, technically, if it's under 50,000, you don't have to do that. But especially for, this would be considered more professional services, but it's always a good idea to get comparison. I don't disagree with that. And then you may find out that 5,700 is a bargain. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't know at this point.
Okay, but the fact that we got 2 of them and both going to choice one to do something that just seems expensive to me. I'd like to get another bid, at least another bid on both of those items.
Okay.
All right. I'd feel better just to keep choice one on their toes. I have no problem with choice one. The problem I have is we go to them for everything and I don't see competitive bids.
Do you want to approve a not to exceed 5,700? And then Kim can seek other prices?
Well, I don't like the word agreement with choice one engineering in there if it's going to be somebody else.
No. Well, yeah, right. I'm just trying to, otherwise we got to wait a month.
Yeah, well, supposedly we're going to have to wait a month anyway. Right, Kim?
Yeah, but then it's going to delay it another month beyond that because if they can't start the work. I mean, I think what Phil is saying is you pass a resolution, you just take out choice one engineering and just say you sign an agreement with an engineering firm to do a survey for Long Park,
right? Not
to exceed $5,700.
And you could do the same for the next one for Willow Road.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So if that's what you want to do, my suggestion is, at least on this one, you've got a motion and a second. It would be appropriate then for a motion to amend the resolution to take out the name of the specific provider. And also it sounds like to add a not to exceed.
Yeah, an NTE. All right.
So you could do that motion now.
Okay, then I move to revise resolution G 2021-32 to read resolution authorizing township administrator to sign an agreement with an engineering firm for engineering services for Long Park in the amount not to exceed $5,700.
Second.
Okay. Roll call.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye.
Okay, and then, sorry to interrupt, that vote was then to approve the amendment,
Correct?
but now you still have to vote on the primary motion to actually approve the resolution now as amended. And you already have a motion and a second for that, so you can just take a roll call.
Okay. Then we are voting on the revised amendment. Okay, the revised resolution.
Correct.
Okay, roll call, Joe.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Ms. Lees.
Aye.
Thanks, Jeff.
And
Then,
then
Kim,
really
when
you
you-
can follow the
when you see-
same thing on the next one too.
Okay. I was going to say, Kim, when you get those other prices, could you just let us know what you find out?
Okay, moving on to, I move approval resolution G 2021-33, a resolution authorizing the township administrator to sign an agreement with an engineering firm for engineering services for Willow Road in an amount not to exceed $4,750.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
Jeff, does that satisfy you? Because I changed it instead of modifying it.
Correct. I think because you did it that way the first time, that was the approval of the resolution. We're good to go.
Okay, thank you. I move approval resolution G 21-34, resolution authorizing township administrator to sign a community event license agreement with Nest Community Learning Center for the use of Symmes Park and Home of the Brave Park for the Nest Kids Ninja Challenge on May 1st, 2021.
Second?
Second.
You got 2 seconds. Okay, discussion. I have a question. We've done this in the past, and everything's worked out well and so on. Is there any special things that we have to do to make sure all our equipment is A-okay and so on? And do we have any liability, or are they taking liability on for anything?
Special risk insurance policy that they provided us. So
Okay.
we required them to show proof of insurance, and they have to provide insurance for the whole day's event, and they will hold us harmless. They named us as an additional insured. On
Okay.
policy.
That's the phrase I was looking for, the hold harmless clause.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, that doesn't
Okay.
stop somebody from suing us, but yet, at least their insurance would take the lead.
Okay.
But this is an event they canceled last year, and then they tried to reschedule it, and then COVID hit. So then they really want to do it again this year. So I told them when they made contact with me that, we weren't going to do any of our events, but as long as they wanted to do an event and they met the health department regulations that were in place, that's set by the governor and enforced by the Hamilton County Health Department, then they would need to seek approval through them to be able to provide the parameters, like how they're planning to meet all the guidelines for that special events that's listed, like we did with Operation Santa when we did that in the park in December. So they have to
Okay.
meet the same parameters. And they
All right.
did. They submitted a plan to Hamilton County. They approved it, and they're going to move forward with it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I'm hoping that we can pick up our events in the fall. So, yeah. I don't want to say we're not doing events. I'm hoping that we can do them.
Well, I meant, okay, I should re-clarify that. We canceled them for the spring.
Right, just for the spring.
Okay. I'm going to interject a comment here. Sergeant, we generally, unless there's something on the agenda, both you and the fire chief are excused anytime after hearing from residents and so on. So I know you're probably bored to tears sitting there listening to all this. We're going to give you the option of you decide whether you want to leave or you want to stay for the rest of our meeting.
I appreciate that. I thought it was the right thing to do to stick around. If you have no other questions, then I'll beg my leave here. But no, I actually find it engaged and entertaining. It's not boring.
Entertaining. Good.
Yeah, I do Whitewater Townships. I'm just kind of comparing and contrasting. You guys have a much longer agenda than theirs.
Yeah.
Okay.
You.
Well, thank you.
Some people do everything in work sessions and so on and just come in and vote.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So I will take my leave, but thank you.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate you
Thank you,
attending.
Sergeant.
Yes, sir. Take care.
You can make all units 26 FAU.
Okay. We're done with that one, right? We voted. Did we vote?
No.
Okay, Joe?
Mr. Leeds?
Roll call.
Aye.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye. An emphatic aye. Move approval of resolution G21, 2021-35, a resolution authorizing township administrator to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Nature Works grant application program through ODNR and to execute contracts as required.
Second.
Discussion. Kim?
This is the second one that I did 2 resolutions for. It says we have, there's a cost for the parks in there. They're estimated costs. So we have 2 options for playground equipment. So I believe option 1 is, option 1 with all the equipment, the turf, the tile, the pour in place, and the repairs to the trail or the repaving of the trail, it comes to $361,468. So if we would apply for the ODNR grant match, the most we could get is $150,000. So then we would have to match that with, I think it's $211,468. Okay, Hamilton County only gets $250,000 allocation, so we may or may not get the 150. It just depends how many people apply for it.
Okay.
So under option 2, the total cost was $266,984 with the trail, and if we got the $150,000 match, we would have to match that with $116,984. So I just need guidance on, or actually you'll need to adopt which resolution you want to go with. Which one do you want me to tell them to apply for, option 1 or option 2?
I need a little clarification as to what's in these 2 options. The first one, you said playground equipment and trail.
Yep, and the second thing is the same thing, but it's just a different playground, like a scaled down version, I think. And is that right,
Okay.
Jody?
Yeah.
Yeah, version.
Have we seen any of these plans?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
included in the packet.
They're in the packet.
Oh, okay.
Can I talk?
2 of 2.
And the ones that she sent us aren't exactly the ones that I want, but they're close. I mean, either option. I would change some of the structures, but it would be about the same price.
Well,
I think there's more bang for our bucks and some of the other options, but yeah,
all right. How much money does the
idea.
how much money has the township put aside for new playground equipment at Seven Gables?
$150,000.
So it's in between the 2 numbers for option 1 and option 2.
Yeah. So you would have to decide, are you going to appropriate more money than what we budgeted, or do you want to just go with option 2, which fits underneath that 150,000?
Well, why can't there be an option 3, which is 150 that we have put aside plus 150 grant and make it 300,000? Can we,
Well, I don't wanna
can we do a nice park and trail for 300,000 instead of 361 or 266?
Well, I don't think there's any question that it's going to be nice. I mean, 300,000 is a lot to spend on a playground and a trail. So I
Well,
think
what's the
what I was
trail?
trying to do with option 2 is that, we, depending on what we get as a grant match, we really can't make that final decision for 300,000. I mean, we're just going to have to wait to see what kind of grant we get.
Right. That's what I think.
Well, the grant is maxed at 150, right?
Right.
Mhm. So let's
So,
see if
I
we,
mean, you may not get anything or you get 150 and that determines whether you do anything this year or not. How much does a trail cost?
40,000.
It's either way, 40,000. And that's going to a 6-foot?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the recommendation here for the trustees to approve? Should we approve a 361 or a 266? It's roughly $100,000 different.
I'm not gonna make that decision. You need to make that decision.
I don't think,
All I'm saying is 150,000 is what we budgeted.
well, this is what I was thinking. Why are we approving anything right now? Why don't we try to get the 150 from the grant application, and then when it comes back, we can make that decision. Can't we
You
see?
have to submit,
Okay.
but you have to submit what you want. So if you want 300,
Okay.
what is it, 360, whatever, you have to submit that and then see what they'll give you.
Okay.
You know what
and
I'm saying? So we have to pick one or the other.
Do we have to submit the plan?
Right.
Okay, what if I wanted to change that plan? I mean, I
Well,
don't
that's,
what she sent us was just a rough estimate of what I want. I mean, it's not exactly what I want.
well,
Does that make
I-
sense?
I see the logic here in applying for the grant, okay? And the most you can get is 150. Unfortunately, they want to know what you want to do. And to Kim's point, you either put in option 1 or option 2, both of which, well, one of which our match would be more than the grant max. The other one, our match would be less than the grant match. And to Jody's point, what kind of latitude do you have once you get the 150 grant if you get it?
I think
Can
you
you
have
change
to, like, we would say, I think you could just say, we're gonna do a play structure and we're gonna pave the trail. As long as we do a play structure or structures and pave the trail, we're fine.
Okay. So it would make more sense to go to ODNR with the big one. Try and get the max for leverage, showing them that your match is going to be more than what the grant would be. And then if you get the 150, then work around that and still do a play set and a trail. I'd say we go in with the big one, and if we're not committed to have to put up 211,416 match, if we could put in something less than that, I don't
Yeah.
mind a 50 match. You know, that's kind of in between these two options.
I had a slightly different take on it. When you look at the
Okay.
renderings, option 1 is it's a very cool playground. It has like 3 big things and a couple, 2 or 3 or 4 smaller things. Option 2 just looks kind of empty. It's generally the same footprint, but it has fewer things to play on. And I was wondering if, like, kind of what we're talking about in a different way, but if we were to go for option 1, and for some reason we couldn't get all the funding together, could we do it in a couple of phases? So we still have the footprint of the playground, and we can install some of the equipment, and then we could buy the rest of the equipment another year.
I'm a little
with our
concerned about
funding.
that, Phil. I like the way you're thinking, but I'm a little concerned. If you remember, we had to go back and buy a portable building for refreshment stand at Home of the Brave to satisfy the requirements of having a concession stand there in order to get the grant that we had before.
Yeah, but we wanted that building. That was part of the master plan.
Well, we wanted a concession stand. We didn't necessarily want that one. A $14,000 movable trailer or something that hopefully we can use somewhere else. I'm just saying that we got to be careful we don't get constrained to doing something that they're expecting us to do exactly what we planned. I'm willing to go in for the big number. It's just another $61,416 more than we've appropriated in our side of the match.
And I'm just saying the play sets that she bid us on are not exactly what I want. So that big play set, you're right. It's empty, Bill. So I would want, I want some other designs in there, some smaller pieces. So that's all I'm saying. So I don't care.
Do you think it's gonna cost less than
Yeah,
the
it's not exactly what I'm looking for.
but
Nice
with
job.
what exactly you're looking for, would it cost more or less than?
Probably not.
361?
I would
Huh?
make it work within the budget what I had. I mean, I don't want to go overspend. Whatever budget you give me, I would make it work. But yeah, the structures she gave us, they're really cool. But there's some other elements that I like better, I guess I should say.
On the one hand, I think we ought to have the plan that we want and bid it, but on the other hand, I'm worrying about timing of getting anything at all this year. If we don't get something in the middle.
We're hoping to get it in by fall. So that's
But-
why we get the grant written and submitted as soon as possible.
Do you know when that grant would be awarded?
Usually they tell us by June or July. I think last.
If we get it in April?
No, we have
if
to
we
turn
get
it in May. It's due in
Okay.
May.
All right.
And then they would let us know by July at the latest. And then we would be able to order something from there. But I mean, I'm going to be optimistic that we would get it by fall. Because last time we did this, it took us like 6 months to get it, to order it and then get it installed. And then it
Okay.
rained and then it delayed it. And
Okay.
remember that was the one we were supposed to have ready for Fall Fest? And
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't ready.
Okay. Well, let me ask this. Do we have to vote on this tonight, or can we vote on it in May with a more definitive plan as to what Jody's thinking?
No, because you probably have to have it written, right, Kim?
Yeah, I mean, we can do the same if you want to do not to exceed amounts. If you want to do that way, and then that way it gives her latitude to change it.
Well, right now, not to exceed would be 300,000. And you got 40 of
Where'd
it
you get
tied up
300,000
in paving. That's a given. So that would give her 260,000 of playground equipment.
Me? Yeah, that would be, I'm okay with that. Whatever you guys feel. I mean, I can make anything work. We can make it fun. They're all really cool play sets. I mean,
Well,
it's just awesome.
where I'm coming from is we already put 150,000 our match in appropriations for 2021. Okay, we don't have to change anything and come up with more money, blah, blah, blah. If we could live with that and get the 150. If obviously we're not going to do anything and we don't get the 150 match. So I'd feel comfortable writing an NTE at 300 and see how it flies.
Okay. I know that we're probably going to have to submit a written estimate. So we would have to submit it, or maybe we could approve it now and then hopefully she's going to drill it down by the time the grant's due, because Kay's going to.
The other option is to find out how constrained we are. If we go in with the one we've got at 361, and Jody's already saying it isn't what she wants. All right. Are we constrained to that, or can we modify it? And could it come down to the 300 or so? Let's say 325. I mean, I'm not big on the number, but
I don't know the answer to that. They don't like you to modify anything, but I don't know. I'll have to ask.
okay. Jody, you don't feel like we could get another bid for modified equipment off of 361?
If you tell me that you only want to spend, if you want to put a bid in for 300,000, I can meet with her next week and we can get a bid for 300,000 equipment. Yeah, that's
No, 260 equipment. You got 40 in paving.
And if you want to stick with 260, I mean, with the smaller number, I can make anything work. You know, we just had a few options. That's what she gave us.
Okay.
We have a playset for them in 20 years? Is it 20 years that that playset is that old? And it's like really in rough shape. And
I would think longer than that.
has it been longer than that? And I think it's a really nice thing to do for that part of the township, because I always feel like we do so much because of Home of the Brave and Symmes Park and Hopewell, that side of the township tends to be ignored. And there's a lot of kids in those subdivisions over there. And I know that park would get a lot more usage if we put something really nice for them to play with. So, that's my thought process in the whole thing. Let's make it just as nice as the other parks.
I agree. I agree in concept. I
So
don't have a
if
feel for how much
if
it
you
costs.
tell me you have $260,000 in play equipment, by golly, I'll make it work and I'll make it fun.
Let me ask a quick question. Because the renderings, this is a proprietary system, right, for a particular playground company.
Right. It's a company out of Germany, but it's really cool.
Are we obligated to bid this out and get 3 different prices and essentially write in there, this or approved equal, this apparatus or approved equal, and get 3 prices? And if that's the case, then it kind of builds in some wiggle room, which is helpful for us.
Well, whatever's on the state bid list is what we can use, or we actually are a TIPS member. So if this company is a TIPS member, then we don't have to bid it out. And I don't know if they're a TIPS member or not.
Okay, so we have to find that out.
Yep.
Kim, what do you recommend we do here? We want to keep the ball rolling. Obviously, we want to apply for a grant. We'd like to get 150K. We've got 150 appropriated already for playground equipment or whatever. I'd like to pass a resolution tonight, but I don't want it to be overly constraining, as that we have to deliver on it exactly as submitted.
Jeff, let me ask you this. Can we do like I suggested before, where we say in the whereas clause, the project is estimated to cost approximately $300,000, whereby the township's match for the grant will be roughly 150. So 50% of the total, and we just change that in the whereas clause, and then that would cover us?
I would think so, but I also don't know the extent of detail of what they expect in the grant application. If they're going to expect plans that will support that number.
Right, and that's what we've always done in the past, is we've always submitted exactly what we were going to do.
Right.
So why don't we just meet with her again and then get what I want and have it drawn up for $260,000, because you want $40,000 for the trail, and we can do it that way.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine. So we just need to
Okay,
change
so-
that one set of 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth whereas down.
Okay, but that's in the text. Do I have to change anything in the title?
No.
Okay. All right. Then we have motion and approval, and we have a clause in the resolution itself that's going to be changed, and subject to that change, can we go ahead and vote on it? Jeff?
Mr. Beck.
Jeff is going to answer.
Yep, sorry. I don't want to draw this out anymore. I think because the resolution as it was presented has a dollar amount in it, if you want to change that dollar amount, you should do a motion to amend the resolution.
But there is no dollar in the title.
Not in the title, but in the body of the resolution, there is.
Okay.
And so it would be more appropriate to do a motion to amend the body of the resolution to insert whatever that, and if it's 300,000 or whatever the dollar amount is, make that motion in a second and vote on that amendment. And then, just like the other one, and then vote on the approval of the then amended resolution.
All right. I'm at the point now that we had 2 options on the table, one for 361K and one for 266K. Phil says the 361K is a very nice layout and so on. I'm sure Jody, subject to some changes and so on, would agree it's a nice layout and so on. But I get the feeling that the 266 isn't. It's kind of plain Jane. and so on. And we like the uniqueness in the different parks and what have you. The question, I guess, in my mind is, can we do something really nice for 300, or should we go with the 361, which means we're going to have to come up with more money appropriated, like another 61K or so.
I think Jody already answered that. She said she could work with it.
Do you think that Jody, with 260, I mean, I don't think we can change what asphalt prices.
Really cool park.
It's going to cost 40,000.
Well,
Can we do a unique playground at Seven Gables for 260K?
we can
Okay.
do it.
All right, then to Jeff's point, if we
Whoville
put
is-
into that clause, NTE $300,000 or so.
Are you talking to
You
me?
know, I don't want to look back and after
Yeah.
it's built a year from now and say,
No, we've always done great play sets in Symmes Township. We are known for our parks. We are known for our play set. We can make 260 work and make it spectacular. Absolutely.
okay. Did you guys see the next door post on Symmes Trustees done a great job with the parks?
Oh, yeah. And did you know, by the way, our sunflower garden is in the top 8 in the area? They don't rank them 1, 2, 3, 4. They rank the top 8 sunflower beds. And the past 2 years, we've been in the top 8 for our sunflower bed.
Well, I know
Impressive.
that the picture of the one year before last made it into the OTA magazine or calendar, and I thought it was a great picture taken by Luann Sun.
We do a lot of nice things, and I think our residents really appreciate it.
I
We do it-
don't want, yeah, I just don't want to be cheap here for $61,000 and not be happy, I guess.
I'll make it look nice, and I promise.
Okay.
Hey,
All
I
right.
just have one comment. On the benches, instead of saying welcome to Simmsville, could they say
Instead of
welcome to
what?
Symmes Township?
Yeah.
That's what it says.
Yeah, Sim, have you ever seen Whoville?
Yeah.
Okay, so look at the design of the playset itself. It looks exactly like Whoville. The design is very funky, very, very cool. And welcome to Simmsville it's because it's a play structure. Would you rather have it say Symmes Township? Symmes Township is boring. Phil, it's boring.
Consistent.
Boring. This is
It's-
for
it's-
kids.
It's messaging.
Welcome to Simmsville, like in Symmes Township or something like that. I mean, you got to
Right.
stick to kids themes. This is kids. They don't care if it's Symmes Township.
All right. All right.
I'll make it work. I'll try and work it out.
All right, Jeff, to your point, we want to modify the paragraph. that
So it
puts
would be
in-
appropriate to do, for someone to make a motion to amend the resolution to include a not to exceed amount of $300,000.
Okay. I move to amend the resolution G 2021-35 to include a paragraph that says not to exceed $300,000.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Ms. Lees.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay.
Now we vote on the resolution, right?
Exactly. Yep. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, now voting on resolution as amended, G 2021-35 as amended. Roll call.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
Okay. I move approval resolution G 2021-36, a resolution authorizing township administrator to sign an amended contract with Fraunfelter Accounting Services to perform accounting services not to exceed $4,200.
Second.
Discussion? Will this clean up all of the work that this guy's done for us? including the recipe going forward?
Including what?
The recipe that I
Oh, yeah.
delivered to you going forward?
Yes.
Okay, so this will be it. This will take us like up to 10K, right?
Unless there's something there that he's not telling us.
All right. Okay. Any other discussion?
Nope.
Roll call.
Miss Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye. I move approval of Resolution G 2021-37, a resolution authorizing the township administrator to sign an agreement with Environmental Designs to paint the interior bathrooms at Mead, Home of the Brave, Hopewell Parks in the amount of $10,495.
Second.
Okay, discussion. Do we rotate this stuff around to our other parks? Periodically as needed? I mean, it's just that
What do you
these
mean,
are the
like
parks.
paint?
Yeah, is this just means that these are the ones we're doing this year?
Right.
Yeah, this is the ones we're doing this year. Last year we did the outside.
Okay,
Of
but
the
what about our
buildings.
other
So this
parks
year-
like Stonebridge and Seven
I
Gables?
don't think they need it.
Okay,
Seven
right.
Gables, we just redid the front doors on it, so I don't know
Yeah.
if he had anything painted on the inside or outside. But I know last time we painted the outside of all these parks of the buildings when we did them. Well, no, we didn't do Mead, but we did Hopewell. We painted the inside, and then we might have painted the inside of Home of the Brave. No, it wasn't. Never mind. It was just at Hopewell where we painted the inside.
Well, you're
I wanna say we
repainting,
did Seven
painting
Gables.
interior bathrooms at Hopewell Parks again then, according to this resolution.
No, we painted the outside of Hopewell. We painted
Okay.
the outside.
All right. I just want to know
We
if we
painted
have,
last year, but I just don't remember what it was.
I just would like to be reassured that we have a maintenance plan that calls for these things to be periodically painted, and we set aside money every year. And this year it's Mead or whatever, Home of the Brave, Hopewell, and whatever the other one is here. Symmes Park.
Mead.
Okay.
And we are also known for our bathrooms, by the way. If you talk to any mailman, they stop at our parks to use the restroom because they said they're the cleanest bathrooms in the area.
I
Just-
can believe that because I see the one guy anyway at Hopewell and at actually at Mead all
Yeah.
the time.
All the time. Mhm.
Yep. Okay. End of discussion. Any more discussion? I'm sorry.
Nope.
Roll call.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Miss Lees.
Aye.
Okay. I move approval of resolution G 2021-38. A resolution authorizing the township administrator to purchase a mini excavator from John Deere in the amount of $45,974.09.
The money.
I hear a second?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I-
Said 45,974.05.
Yes.
Yeah, second.
I thought that's what I read, but I get tongue tied sometimes. Any discussion on that?
It's needed, right, Kim? We don't really have any other option.
And it was
Yeah, the
budgeted,
last
right?
time we bought this was, I think it was oh, I thought I had that. I want to say it's like 15 or 16 years old. So, but the only thing we don't have is we don't know how much it's going to cost to trade it in, like how much we'll get for a trade-in. So I can't exactly put a number to that. All I can say is that the purchase price is $45,974.05. We budgeted $40,000, but like I said, I think we're going to get like a $10,000 to $12,000 trade-in. So the worst case scenario that we would be paying is $35,000, anywhere from 33 to 35. But we did budget for it this year.
Do we dig graves with that thing?
Yes, we use it in multiple places. So
Okay.
that's why we're going to use multiple funds to pay for it.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion, guys? Okay, roll call.
Brian,
Aye.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
I move approval of resolution G 2021-39, a resolution authorizing township administrator to enter into an agreement with John Christian for tree treatments at various parks, cemeteries, and government buildings in the amount of $34,916.
Second. I have a question about this. Okay, can we skip it 1 year and save $34,000? If we skip 1 year, would it?
Well,
Kill-
if you saw what Kim put out today, I'd question that already. What's the benefit we're getting for this? I mean, are these more ash trees, and what kind of trees are they, and are we getting anything out of it? And she responded as to what Bill said about periodically and so on, and I don't have that at my fingertips. Kim, do you have it?
It's, so last year in 2020, we put down what's called CompuStat. And what CompuStat did when they treated was it's a growth accelerator. So it encourages the roots to stay underground and not come above ground, and not, grow out of the ground or whatever. It keeps everything underneath the ground, and it helps with the emerald ash borer, and it helps with the longhorn beetle. So on the flip side, for 2021, we wouldn't do CompuStat again. We would do another type of fertilizer to help the tree grow and be, look as nice and green as it can, but it's not the same thing. So what they do is they rotate it every year. The answer to the question is, can you skip it? Yes. Do they recommend that you do that? No. I don't know of any other park districts that treat their trees. I'm not saying they don't or they do. I've just never asked that question. I know that we've always done it here. I don't know if anybody else does it.
So what's the bottom line then? We can or should not? Or
You could, I guess. I don't know what it's going to do. I don't know if you skip a year, does it hurt the tree? It probably doesn't.
Well, are we've been treating our, what's the tree with the, not the beetle, but the
Emerald ash borer.
emerald ash. We've been treating those for years. Do we have any decline? Are they're still going to die or what?
I think they're still going to die just because there's no way to stop the emerald ash borer, but that they've been able to find. Bill feels that these treatments are working in the trees and that they're prolonging their life. So I'm not a tree person, so I couldn't tell you one way or the other.
Okay.
Bill also said that he said you can hold off a year, but they do not recommend getting off cycle
Right.
because there's different treatments for different years.
Right.
Okay.
For what it's worth, a few years back, I had an arborist come out and look at an ash tree on my property about treating it, because I wanted him to treat it because I wanted to save the tree. And he told me not to waste my money. I should apply that amount to taking the tree down.
Yeah.
One guy's opinion.
Can we get some more information on this and maybe bring it back? Can Bill push it a little bit?
I'd like to think a little further out. I think we ought to be developing a plan to remove our ash trees in Symmes Township maybe on a 10-year cycle or something. Is the ones that look the worst, remove them as we go and cut down on the fertilization or whatever we have to do with those trees, and see if we can save that and apply it to removals. Somewhere along the line, where if all these trees died in 1 year, it would cost us a fortune to take them all down, probably. And I'm worried about
that's just the thing. They're dying now. I mean, you can see all over the park where there's trees everywhere. I mean, if you've walked Mead, they're everywhere. I mean, there's dead trees everywhere. Same at Symmes Park, same at Home of the Brave. There's And we cannot keep up with how many trees are dying.
Okay.
So a lot of them just lay there because we can't do anything with them.
Well, I had 3 ash trees, beautiful big ash trees in my yard, and I've lost all 3 of them. One of them due to Hurricane Ike or whatever, it cracked in the notch, and they had cabled it one year and then finally had to take it down. And then the other 2, one died and fell, and the other one I had to have removed too. So I think we need to think about a long-term plan as to how we're going to handle this. But right now, we have a resolution in front of us, and it costs us $34,916. We don't know what the split is on what kind of trees and how much we're spending on ash trees and how much we're spending on other trees that probably need the fertilization.
Well, let me look. Hold on. Because there's a list behind it. Oh, safety center, he doesn't break them down. He just says fertilize all trees, 1630. Camp Denison's, Waldschmidt Cemetery, fertilize maples and 1 large ONAT entrance. Growth regulator, maples and oaks. Cannon area prune, fertilized trees, cannon area. So that's $4,978.
Those are fairly young trees, I think, because we redid that cannon area maybe 5, 6 years ago.
Okay. Home of the Brave, fertilize 146 trees and fertilize 1 large oak tree. So that's $3,120. Symmes Park, fertilize oaks along the driveway. Fertilize maples along the driveway, $1,650. Growth regulator, oaks and maples. So that was $15,368. This is Stonebridge. We have the emerald ash borer treatment, $576. So there must be an ash tree. There must be many. I don't know. It doesn't say how many. It just says ash borer treatment, $576. Fertilize ash trees, $300. Fertilize maple trees, $605. Prune crabs, apples along street, $960. Raise limbs on ash and maple, $640. So that's $3,081.
That's all Stonebridge.
Seven Gables, there's ash borer treatment, $840. Just says fertilize ash trees, fertilize all other trees. That's $2,440. At Hopewell Park, ash borer treatment, $11,104. Fertilize ash trees, $700. Fertilize quality trees along walking trail, $1,880. So that's $3,684 for that. And at Belong, fertilize all trees, $615. So
Must not have many trees. Must not have
Yeah.
many trees that belong.
Well, Belong's got a lot of the evergreens
Yeah.
throughout it versus the deciduous trees.
Well, it's kind of
Sounds like it's mostly fertilizing. There's very little emerald ash borer
Right.
Yeah.
comparison.
Probably $2,000 or $3,000 worth of ash treatments. Maybe 4,000 at the most out of this 31.
Right.
I mean, again, you could make this a not to exceed 34,916 and then just do take a second look at the ash trees and see, to Joe's point, maybe it's not even, maybe it's not worth it.
Did we ever get competitive bids on this one?
No, I think John is the one that usually takes care of our trees.
John?
Christian.
Yeah. But how do we know we couldn't get it done for 20 or 25 if we don't go somewhere else and look?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question.
I think we need to find out.
Okay.
In the meantime, I think that's another one of those things that cost effectiveness going forward, and I don't want to hold up stuff that maybe needs to be done in the springtime, and it's springtime. So to Phil's point, if we could say not into not to exceed the 34,916 and take another hard look at if can we save anything on the ash trees. Tendency is that if you get a contract not to exceed, you're gonna not exceed it and just go do everything and not do the study as to whether it's beneficial to the ash trees. So, I'm sorry, maybe I'm cynical tonight.
Yeah.
Or all the time. Okay.
Okay,
Would the trustees agree if I put an MTE of 34,916 with the proviso that we reevaluate the benefit to the ash trees?
Yes.
You agree with that? That's what you're
Me?
saying?
yeah, I'm okay with it. I would like to see maybe for next year, like who else is doing this with their trees?
I agree.
A big tree person because I'm a tree hugger, but I'm just curious.
Well,
Does Great Park fertilize their trees every year? Does Sycamore Township do it? I mean, they have beautiful trees too. So I just, for next year, I would just like to see collectively who's fertilizing trees. That's all.
Yeah. When she read off these places where we're doing treatments and so on, you know, I kind of was visualizing driving through there, like the entrance to Symmes Park. I would hate to lose that canopy of trees and so on because we didn't fertilize or do something to it on the entrance. You know what I mean?
Yep.
There are areas that you really want to protect if you can. It's
Yep.
just a question of how much do you have to do.
Right.
I'm more interested in finding out if anybody else does this work and what it costs relative to what we're doing. So, all right. Seems my computer wants to keep shutting down over here because I'm ignoring it. I'd like to modify here once again the modified move approval resolution G2021-39 resolution authorizing township administrator to enter into an agreement with John Christian for the tree treatments at various parks, cemeteries, and government buildings in an amount not to exceed $34,916. And I put a paragraph in there that they will reevaluate all of the ash trees for benefit, for potential savings.
Second.
Okay. Roll call on the amendment.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye. And now we vote on the original resolution. G2021-39. Roll call.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Ms. Lees.
Aye.
Okay. I move approval resolution G2020-40, resolution authorizing township administrator to purchase a portion of the new stainless steel conveyor for the service department from Kimco in the total amount of $69,820.73.
Second.
Discussion. The word portion of a new stainless steel conveyor. Does that mean that we've only damaged part of it or part of it needs replacing and there's other parts that may in the future? I mean, this is
No,
already.
Splitting it
This is
8
already-
ways.
I'm sorry.
So if you read the resolution, it says that we're going to split it between 8 jurisdictions, and we are one of the 8. So we would pay our portion would be anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000, depending. Because Bill said it's $69,820, but he's not sure if we're going to need anything additional for that. So our portion would be up to $10,000. So it will be shared by.
Jeff, should that resolution really be written as we are contributing to a pool or some such, and our amount is 10,000 or 12,000 or whatever the number is?
That actually is in the body of the resolution.
Okay.
That explains that.
Okay. All All right, so we're really not putting out 69,820. It's only 1/8 or something of that.
Right. If you go to the last whereas, it says it.
Right. The resolution says that it's not to exceed your portion is not to exceed $10,000.
All right. Any other discussion? Move seconded, roll call.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Miss Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
Okay, I move approval of the following expenditures and authorization for the township administrator to sign any necessary contracts, agreements, or paperwork. A, amend the following. Fund number 2171-610-316, Parks Fund, add $5,700, final appropriation $6,900. Amend Fund 1000-110-311, General Fund, adding $4,200 to make the final appropriation of $59,450. Amend account number, fund account number 2041-760-740, Cemetery Fund, add $6,000 to make a final appropriation of $6,000. Amend Fund 2041-410-360, Cemetery Fund, add $4,978 to make a final appropriation of $74,148. Amend Fund 2021-760-740, Gas Fund, add $10,000 to make a final appropriation of $10,000. Amend Fund 2021-330-316, the Gas Fund, add $1,610 to make a final appropriation of $6,610. Amend Fund 2021-330-490, Gas Fund, adding $39,999.50, making a final appropriation of $59,999.50. Amend Fund 2041-410-490, Cemetery Fund, add $1,000 to bring a total final appropriation to $1,000. Amend Fund 2072-610-490, Rossi Park Fund, add $1,000, making a final appropriation of $1,000. Amend Fund 1000-110-490, General Fund, add $1,000 to make a final appropriation of $1,000. And amend Fund 2193-330-360, Road Levy Fund, add $230.
That one's different.
Yep, I was going to
We
say
picked
that's the one.
other. So it's going to be, I think it's 106. Oh, I don't know my number.
856.
So
It's going to be 100 and
856, 178 minus 750. What was that? $106, 178.
okay. Add 106, 178 to make a grand total of 856, 178.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Item B, amend the following. I'm sorry. Move approval of an expenditure of $5,485.12 for Kirby built for additional benches in various parks. And C, an additional expense of $6,529.73 to Carrot Top Industries for flags.
Second.
That was a lot.
Any discussion?
Mm-mm.
I assume all of these came from Joe as the funds needed in the area. We have several here that we didn't have existing. We added $1,000 and end up with $1,000 or whatever. Is there any of those that you'd like to speak to? I know what the last one is, the road levy.
Yeah, so the first one is for Blong, the 2171, 610, 316. The second one is for the accounting fees. The third one is for the mini excavator. The fourth one is the tree treatments for the cemeteries. The fifth one is the conveyor belt purchase. The next one, the 2021 316 is the survey stake work for Willow. 2021 490, that's and all the ones that are 490s. Those are all the flags for this. It's the road portion, cemetery, HOB, and the admin portion. And then the last one is for paving.
Okay. Carrot Top is 652973. That's a new vendor, right?
Yeah,
How
we
does
used
that
to use
compare?
Buckeye flags, but the gentleman had a heart attack and died, so we can't order from them anymore because they don't exist anymore. So now we went to Carrot
How-
Top, and we just
how
decided to
often-
go ahead and order it for the whole year.
Okay. So how often do we buy $6,500 worth of flags?
This year is our first year. Usually we buy them as we need them, but we're just going to go ahead and buy them for the whole year and just get the purchase
Okay.
at one time.
All right. So this is a year's supply for all different flags.
Yes,
Okay.
there's a whole list.
All right. Any other discussion? Roll call. I'm sorry, Phil, did you say something?
No other discussion for me.
Okay, all right. Roll call.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryan.
Aye. Okay, I move.
Can I say one thing before we move to executive session? I know I stay on the line, and I emailed him the other day about getting a contract from the log home at Mead. And I was wondering if he emailed that to Kim or if he could do that. CJ, are you on the line? I guess not. CJ, are you on the line? Yeah, I don't think
We
he's.
we have no video, but we haven't had video on CJ some time, but we normally have audio.
I don't think he's there. Hey, are you there? Okay. Well, I guess I'll email him because I just wanted to get a contract from the Mead Historical Log Home, and I wanted to see if he has scheduled to get anything fixed. Because I was there today and I noticed the roof is getting really bad. There's more holes in it. So, okay. Well, I'll just have to email him.
Okay. All right. Then I move we enter into executive session under Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22 G1 to consider the compensation and employment of a public employee or official.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryan,
Aye.
Ms. Lees.
Aye. All right. Okay.
Where did I leave? I left the room.
Yeah, you're back in.
You're back in.
I'm back in.
Yep. You see the gallery view.
Yeah, okay. Got too many buttons and they're all over the place and they're different locations for me. All right. Let the record show that we returned from executive session. And I'm sorry, I guess we actually have to adjourn from executive session, don't we? Okay, I move to adjourn from executive session.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Bryant,
Aye.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck.
Aye.
Okay, we're back in regular session now. And I'm going to say that we're going to take no further action this evening, and I move to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Lees,
Aye.
Mr. Beck,
Aye.
Mr. Bryant.
Aye. Okay. Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it. Next time we'll all be in the same room.
Thank
You have to come out of
guys.
hibernation, Jeff.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Aye.
Thank you.